This is Point of View, celebrating a world record-breaking 62 years of quality public affairs programs from the studios of WDEF News 12, Chattanooga. Hello and welcome to Point of View. I'm Maurice Lewis, and whenever you see me with my co-host, Nyada Cancel, you know we're going to have some fun. Welcome again, and what do you have in store?
You know, like you said, it's always a fun show when we're together.
Yeah.
I have Dr. Carol Berz, who works for City, she's our City Councilwoman, and we're so excited to have you. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
We have a wonderful topic to talk about, and that is the Mayor's Women's Council, correct?
Correct.
You know, we just had the State of the City, and of course the mayor addressed the Mayor's Women's Council, which, you know, he was kind enough to acknowledge all of the women that were there and that serve on this committee. Tell us a little bit about the committee, what does it do, and how many divisions of it there is.
Well, about a year ago this time, it's interesting, the mayor decided that he wanted to have a Mayor's Council for women because the mayor is interested in all of the citizens, and he wanted to model it after the Tennessee Economic Council for Women, and take a look at the issues facing women in the community. Women are the majority of the citizens here. We have a number of single-parent heads of household, and to have economic disparity makes no sense if just for tax-based reasons. Mm-hmm. So he asked me if I would chair this, and asked Joanne Favors, Representative Joanne Favors, who's been a gem, to co-chair it. And we're looking at the issues of justice, of education, of history, of economic development, of health care, just a whole variety of issues that actually matrix into what the issues are for women. The whole idea is to help women and families be economically self-sufficient. Our task was to be instructive to him in policy for the city. And for 1 year, we've been doing research, studies, and we'll continue to do so for white papers that the mayor puts online.
And what are white papers?
White paper is a result of the study that these committees do, these various committees do.
And what are the committees?
The same thing, health, education, justice, economic development, history, and I'm leaving, leadership. Leadership, yeah. Those are the issues facing women today relative to economic self-sufficiency. And we have over 200 women working in all these various areas and really working. As the mayor said earlier, it's probably the best investment of time and energy we've ever done.
Talking about investments, the state actually cut the funding for the program, is that correct?
The state cut the funding for the Tennessee Economic Council for Women, and this is what got the mayor going. He said, I was getting ready to write a letter to the state saying this is wrong, and then I realized I hadn't done anything in my own city. So I need to do something in my city. And if you're familiar with this State of the City address, just recently, the mayor walks his talk. At least 3 of the 4 or 5 issues he mentioned are the direct result of the study of the Mayor's Council for Women.
So has the study already had an impact in the city?
Oh, yes, it has. Several areas. Businesses are starting to look at what we're doing. As a matter of fact, the mayor just unveiled his business challenge, the family-friendly business.
That was just a few minutes ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hot off the press.
And that's an economic statement. That's not a social statement. That's an economic statement. You know, when you're happy at work, when you're not worrying about your family, when you're not worrying about your children, whether it's men or women, then you're going to be a better worker and a more productive worker. So this is all of this is based in economics, which is my area. I'm interested in that. When you have 54% of your population female, and the majority of them female single-parent heads of households, it makes absolutely no sense for them not to be contributors to the economy
This is
of our
an
city.
initiative sponsored by the mayor.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So what kind of legs does this thing have? He's not going to be here forever.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because after this first year, our next step is to get legs through executive order, through the budgetary process, to have it be an established entity in the city. And if it's established with the power behind it that we've got, all these women, and these women are executives all over the city, wouldn't it be foolish for anyone that follows Mayor Burke to try and do away with it?
Well, I'm not particularly interested in that because of the number of people on the city council that might want to follow.
You know, I have
I
to.
want her to answer that, please.
Yeah, actually, the council, the Mayor's Council for Women, has made presentations to all my colleagues, and all of them have been great. I'm the only female on the council, so they are all male. And they realize the good common sense of having this diverse group of women. When I say diverse, it's economically, it's racially, it's age-wise, it's ethnic, it's everything. And I've never run into a brighter group of people who have solid offerings for any mayor, The white papers are up on the website, on the mayor's website. They're very scholarly and very impressive.
Representative Favors is not able to be with us today. What are some of the main issues that she's talked about?
Well, the thing she's fighting for very wonderfully in Nashville, health care being the main one. Health care, she was very instrumental in helping us get legislation through the legislature relative to some housing legislation that said with domestic violence, if a woman is a victim of domestic violence, not only she but the perpetrator get thrown out of the house, which is ridiculous. So we've now very successfully, with the help of Gerald McCormick, helped get through new legislation that say no longer is the woman doesn't need to be thrown out when she's a victim. Housing is very important. Transportation is very important. Child care is very important. You know, we thought we'd run into glass ceiling banter.
Hasn't happened.
We didn't run into that. What we ran into, the basics of any family, which is proper transportation, public transportation, good health care, a justice system that is not inequitable toward women. We talked about things that are barriers to education. Again, health care, transportation, preschool care for
Well,
children.
Naria, you serve on that committee also.
I serve on the Economic Development Committee, yes. And what are some of the pushbacks that different departments have had?
Actually, very few. I think that maybe at first people were saying, oh, it's just another women's committee and, you know, let's see how it goes. Now it has gotten legs. And as a result, it's probably not good form to try and push back too much. So we had a number of businesses, and this was in the press release today, and we had a press conference. As a matter of fact, the station was there, where a number of companies have taken the city's challenge to be family friendly in the way they best can do it. Real leaders in the
Well,
community.
you both can answer this question if you would, please. What do you mean by family friendly?
Well, you're talking about flex time, you're talking about child care, you're talking about benefits that may not be the usual. You're talking about maybe daycare on site. I mean, there's a whole plethora of things that are family friendly, but they have to be defined by the workers of a particular business. So we're not defining it. However, these companies have come on board and are saying, okay, we're on board.
A lot of, obviously every woman walks a different path, right? And so there are so many companies that either have benefits that are not being utilized or are not being spoken of. You know, do you work for a company that you don't know the benefits that you may have, as well as the benefits that I may need may be different than the one that Dr. Berz may need, or another one of my colleagues may need. And so how do they serve the majority of their women through benefits?
What you just said is a perfect example to go off into this. How do you get the information information out to people who really need to know these kind of things? What's the delivery system?
We've done it through, this is our first year, and we're designing that, but we're going to the people to design it. We've had a number of focus groups, from halfway houses to university students to well-heeled people to running the gamut. We've had focus groups, and we've asked the questions: what's holding you back, if anything? What's holding you back? What can be done about it? And if you could change anything in your work environment, what would it be? And that's where the answers started coming. As I said, we were very surprised. We thought it would be the usual glass ceiling banter. It wasn't. It was more economically motivated. Now, does there need to be equity in the boardrooms? Of course there does.
Absolutely.
But what about people who don't have jobs? How
And that's one of
Okay.
the things that we're addressing. What happens to single moms or females that are unemployed, as well as stay-at-home moms? And so, like I said earlier, you know, every woman walks a different path, and that's what we wanted to know. So, Dr. Berz and I live different lifestyles than maybe someone who lives in a shelter or is a victim of domestic violence or has another issue. And maybe for me it might be a glass ceiling, but for you it might be that you need childcare, and for someone else it may be that, you know, they need transportation. And so that's the information that we've collected.
Where do the courts come into this picture?
Well, actually, the justice system, the Justice Committee is looking at the courts, and we have several judges among our group. And we're looking at equity in the courts when it comes to divorce. We're looking at the fact that sometimes punishments are inequitable. We're looking at, as a matter of fact, this domestic violence and being thrown out of your home came from the court system. So the courts are very much a part of this. I'd love it. You'd love being a fly on the wall at some of these discussions. These aren't usually your formal ones.
No, and it is a group of all powerful women. It's amazing when you walk in, it's just power just comes on in.
Well, you know, in terms of power, we have a powerhouse. We want to thank you very much, Dr. Berz, for being with us here on
It's
Point of
been
View.
great.
And we want to
Thank
have you
you.
come back, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I would love it.
And for you and the other committee members, you have a lot of work ahead of you, and we should be very supportive of their efforts. Now, coming
I
up
am
in
very
section
proud.
two,
I'm
coming
very
up
proud.
in section 2, what do we have?
We have Belen Galindo, who wrote the book People of Chattanooga, and it
That's
is
who we
truly who we are. I'm excited
And
to have
another
Belen.
powerful woman.
Another powerful woman and fellow anchor as well.
We'll
and
have to
host.
hear that
Yes.
story. Point of View will continue momentarily.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Join us for Point of View, weekends on News 12 Now and Bounce Chattanooga.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on Point of View. I moved here some years ago, and as a newcomer, I fell in love with the people of Chattanooga. Our next guest has also done the same thing, and in fact, she's done more than just think about it.
She has been more than just welcomed here in Chattanooga. She's decided to write a great book about the people of Chattanooga, named exactly that. Please welcome Belen to our show. How are you, Belen?
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm fine. I'm perfect. I'm so glad.
Please
so
tell
happy.
us, where did you move from?
Well, I'm from Spain. I come from Spain. I come from Pamplona. Do you know the city, the running of the bulls, the
Yes.
festival of San Fermin?
I've
That
been there
place-
courtesy of the United States Navy.
Oh, yes. It's the place where crazy people run through the streets.
Fun people.
Well,
fun
people, yes.
Sometimes fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes fun. Anyway, this is my town. It's a beautiful and wonderful town in the north of Spain, very close to the border to France. And well, it's a long trip, but I am in Chattanooga.
So I know that you came here because your husband got a contract, or actually works for Volkswagen in Spain.
Exactly.
But had a contract for 3 years to come work
Yes.
here in the United States. And you left your job of 20 years. Actually, they've held it for you for 3 years. You are also, she's a news anchor and a multimedia specialist there in Spain. And you decided, I'm going to go on this great adventure to Chattanooga, and I'm going to meet all these new people. And
Exactly.
you, with your wonderful energy, please tell us about how you compiled this book.
This is the book. This is People of Chattanooga book, and this is like a dream come true for me. As you said, I'm journalist. I love people. I love communicate. I love being in touch, and I'm very curious. So once I got to Chattanooga, because yes, my husband was transferred, and one day he arrives home and he said, "Family, we are moving to Chattanooga." And I said, "What? What's that?" We didn't know. I didn't know exactly where Chattanooga was. And at the beginning, I said, "I don't know if that's going to be a great idea," because I had my job, my family. But I made my mind and I said, "Why not? Maybe this is going to be the beginning of a very exciting experience of
And
life."
how did that transfer into this book?
Exactly. Well, I fell in love with Chattanooga. I was amazed about the city, the landscape, the weather, but especially I fall in love with these people of Chattanooga that made me feel since the beginning very, very well. I mean, like at home, very welcome and very comfortable, and every day, everybody, most of the people is smiling at the street.
When you say people of Chattanooga, what does that mean?
That means the people that I met every day at the store, at the streets,
So just your average Chattanoogan.
Yes.
So it's not just the leaders of Chattanooga.
No, because exactly, as you see the book, I mean, I've been interviewing in the last 6 months almost 100 of people of Chattanooga. In the book, there are 70 people, 70 interviews, but I try to capture the essence of the city, to make my personal portrait of the city of Chattanooga. Could be anyone, but you know, it's like a picture when you go to the street. Who is on the street? Whoever. I don't know.
What kind of neighborhoods did you visit?
I was downtown most of the time, trying to find the essence of the city, because, well, Chattanooga is big, but I try to be in the core, in the heart, in the middle of the life of Chattanooga.
Yeah, because there's so many other layers. I mean, there are people who live in high rises. There are people who live in trailers. There are people who live in public housing. So when you say people of Chattanooga, I just wondered how much of the flavor did you
was
really
the
get?
kind of randomly selection of people. I was trying to find one here, picking, you know, several environments, the diverse backgrounds, different ages, genders, races, religions. I mean, just a picture of the city.
I have looked at the book, and it is truly a diverse scope of the city. But tell us, you interviewed hundreds of people. You only have 70 people in the book. So what happens to all the other people?
There will be a second edition.
There will be
maybe
a
a
second.
third, and maybe a fourth. I need to do
series.
it.
There'll be a series of the people of
And you both
Chattanooga.
guys need to be in the second. Point of view has to be in the next one.
Point of view will have to be on the second
Oh,
edition.
that would be an honor.
The question is that sometimes people ask me, "Oh, why did you do it?" I said, "Why not?" Because I wanted to do something special, just to give back to the city, what the city gave to me every day.
I will say that I have had, I've been honored to meet you in this 3 years that you've spent here. I am very sad that she is leaving us in a month to go back to Spain.
Time to go
but
back.
you are leaving us this gem, and people can order it online, of course, and look forward not to only to this edition, but many other editions that I'm sure that you will follow.
Exactly.
As you've been here. Thank you so much, Belen.
Thank you for having me. Thank
It's
you,
so great to
Nayara.
have you.
Thank you so
We will go away for just a couple of minutes, or less than a couple of minutes, and when we come back, we'll be ready to ride. So stay with Point of View.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Time to have some fun here on Point of View. Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
And Zack?
Zack.
Joining me. The other adventurous, you know, there's no telling what this woman might do. So when she heard that we were going to have bicycles here today, I'm wearing pants.
Yes, I
Okay.
said to you earlier this week, I said, we're having bikes, I'm wearing pants, because you know I have no shame. I'll do anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the reasons why you guys are here is because we're talking about green.
Absolutely.
And why are you here?
Well, we're here to talk about GreenTrips. GreenTrips is a program of the Regional Planning Agency, and it's a free program for anyone who lives in the Chattanooga area. So it's for the greater Chattanooga area, all of Hamilton County, Catoosa County, and the northern portions of Walker and Dade County as well.
Well, let me talk about the super parts that you didn't talk about. I read your website, and it says you can meet people, you can fall in love, you can find a husband or a wife. Now, I know there was a disclaimer
That sounds
there.
like a dating site to me.
There was a disclaimer there, but what it meant is that you could meet new people, and whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely.
Through carpooling.
Absolutely. Well, GreenTrips is a program that gives you rewards for making better use of our transportation infrastructure. So not using one car to transport only one person. That's not a very efficient way to get around, and that's what leads to traffic and air pollution. So instead, GreenTrips offers things like rewards for biking. We're here to celebrate National Bike Month. Or for carpooling, and we have a free carpool match finder on our website. And I think we were jokingly referring to, you never know how great the relationship you create when you're sharing that commute with someone could be.
It sounds like fun when you protect the environment and you can also win things and really...
Absolutely. You know, you spoke about the different types of transportation. Can you elaborate on the different types?
Sure, absolutely. So anytime that someone is taking a trip and they are not transporting themselves and 3 or 4 empty car seats, that's a much more efficient mode of transportation than driving alone. So anytime you walk, bike, carpool, if you work from home or if you take public transportation, all of those count as green trips. You can log those trips on our website. Each trip you log is a point, and at the end of the month, you get prizes.
Well, we're not going to leave you out of this deal here. I mean, you're standing there waiting patiently. Outdoor Chattanooga, tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, thank you. I'm Zack Bepp. I'm with Outdoor Chattanooga, and I'm here to tell you about the street cycling class. So it's Street Cycling 101, and what it is a class to help get more people out comfortable being on the roads. We teach you about the Tennessee state laws. We teach you about the Chattanooga laws. It's a classroom-based class where we show you all the ways that you can commute by bicycle safely on the roads with traffic. And it is a great class. It's free. We have it.
That's the magic word, number one.
Yeah, free.
So are there age restrictions?
There are age restrictions. We allow it up to 14 and up. And at 14, if you're a minor, you have to be with a parental guardian the whole time. But anybody else can take it, and it's offered the 3rd Monday of the month. So every 3rd Monday of the month, you can sign up for our class. It's free. It's at Outdoor Chattanooga in Coolidge Park. And we we do a classroom-based, and then if you want, there is an optional ride where we provide equipment like this bike to take you out on the roads.
You know, I'm a motorcyclist, and I wear all the gear all the time, and I notice you both have brought safety helmets. Tell me, how important is it to have the right gear?
Well, actually, I just want to point out that Zach and I rode our bikes down here from our office on Market Street, so it's a great day. It's always a great day to get out on the bike in Chattanooga. But you know, safety is number one. Every vehicle, that includes bikes, that are on the roads are required to have lights in the front and a red rear reflector as well. Okay. And helmets are a great way to protect yourself from really traumatic injury while you're out.
Talking about safety, do you guys teach people how to use the protected bike lanes that we have here in Chattanooga?
We do teach about the new protected bike lanes and the other bike lanes called sharrows, which are for motors transportation and bicycle transportation. But we'll go over all the different types and forms of the protected bike lanes and the sharrows and the regular bike lanes.
I did notice on your website that you guys have guides for the different trails. Tell us a little bit about that.
So we are very fortunate here in the Chattanooga area. We have lots of great connectors that are open to bicycles or pedestrians. For instance, the UTC Greenway is a greenway that makes a connection directly from the Martin Luther King Boulevard all the way up to near the health department. So you can imagine how great it is to be able to cut through that, have this enjoyable place to walk. You're safe, and you can connect to great restaurants and great things to do on MLK Boulevard.
We have a limited amount of time. How do people find you? Your website?
Sure. It's at GreenTripsCHA.org.
We will have to link you onto our social media so people can find you, and please look us up on Facebook at Point of View Chat.
Until next week, this is Point of View. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Provided by the following.
Funding for this program is brought to you by Barnett & Company, specializing in tax-efficient strategies for the preservation and distribution of family wealth, offering continuous investment management with a focus on long-term strategies. Areas of service include investment, estate, education, and retirement planning. Barnett & Company, the power of compound returns over time. More information can be found on the web at barnettandcompany.com.